When I opened my small farm store outside town, I honestly expected a quiet life. I sold fresh vegetables, homemade pies, local honey, and flowers grown right on the property. Most people loved the peaceful countryside atmosphere immediately. But apparently, one person saw my little farm store as a personal problem. The luxury HOA neighborhood down the road had a reputation for controlling everything around them. Perfect lawns, matching mailboxes, spotless sidewalks. People joked that the HOA probably regulated how tall your grass could grow overnight. Honestly, I never paid much attention to them at first. Then one Saturday morning, Brenda showed up at my farm store for the first time. Bright pink blazer, expensive sunglasses, angry expression before she even stepped out her SUV. She walked around the property criticizing everything she saw. The parking area, the signs, the flower baskets, even the pumpkins near the porch. At first, I thought she was just having a bad day. Some people complain about everything. But then she started talking about property values and community standards. Apparently, my rustic farm store embarrassed the luxury entrance road, leading toward the HOA neighborhood nearby. I tried staying polite during the conversation. I explained the property was fully legal agricultural land. The store has county permits, inspections, and proper zoning approval, already completed months earlier. But Brenda clearly wasn't interested in facts. She only wanted control. Over the next weeks, the complaints started arriving non-stop. Parking violations, noise complaints, sign violations, landscaping issues. Every few days, another county inspector showed up, asking questions about the property. Honestly, it became exhausting pretty quickly. The strange part was that none of the inspectors actually found problems. Most of them ended up buying vegetables or fresh pies before leaving. One deputy even joked that your tomatoes are worth protecting with county resources. Small-town people usually appreciate local farms. Brenda, unfortunately, did not appreciate anything about my farm. Every failed inspection only seemed to make her angrier. She kept filing more complaints, hoping eventually something would shut my business down permanently. Apparently, she had lots of free time available. One afternoon, I counted 14 separate complaints filed against the farm store in less than 2 months. 14. At that point, it almost felt impressive. Honestly, keeping track of all the accusations probably became Brenda's full-time hobby. Meanwhile, business actually improved because of the drama. Customers became curious after hearing rumors around town. Families started visiting just to see the farm store fighting the HOA. Ironically, Brenda's complaints became free advertising for my business. Around that same time, an older businessman started visiting my store every Friday morning. Nice guy, calm personality, usually bought apples, peaches, coffee, and homemade pie. We spent hours talking about farming, weather, and small-town life. I never asked what he did professionally. One Friday morning, another county inspector arrived during breakfast hours. The older businessman happened to be sitting on the porch drinking coffee at the time. Suddenly, the inspector looked nervous and stood much straighter than usual. That immediately caught my attention. Before I could ask questions, Brenda's SUV pulled into the parking lot again. She stepped out already, holding another folder full of complaint paperwork. Honestly, the woman looked excited about causing problems. But then she noticed the older businessman sitting beside me. Brenda froze instantly. The older man calmly stood up from his chair, while the county inspector greeted him respectfully. That's when Brenda realized something very important. The friendly older customer buying pie every Friday morning was actually the county zoning chairman himself. Honestly, I almost laughed watching Brenda's expression change. The zoning chairman asked to review every complaint filed against my property. Right there in the parking lot, he calmly flipped through all 14 reports one by one. Parking complaints, produced display complaints, sign complaints, flower arrangement complaints. It sounded ridiculous hearing them aloud. After reviewing the paperwork, the chairman looked directly at Brenda and explained something very simple. This farm store fully complies with every agricultural zoning regulation in the county. Every permit is legal. Every inspection passed properly. There is absolutely nothing you can shut down. Brenda immediately started arguing, loudly. She accused the county of favoritism and claimed my farm hurt the neighborhood image. Honestly, even nearby customers started looking embarrassed listening to the conversation. Some HOA residents standing nearby quietly shook their heads while Brenda continued yelling in the parking lot. The zoning chairman stayed calm through the entire argument. That probably frustrated Brenda even more. Calm people usually win situations like that because they stick to facts instead of emotions. Eventually, he politely informed Brenda that filing false or excessive complaints could create legal consequences for the HOA itself. That sentence changed everything instantly. Brenda suddenly became very quiet. Over the next few weeks, the complaints stopped completely. No inspectors, no warning letters. No parking accusations. For the first time in months, the farm finally felt peaceful again. Honestly, the silence felt strange at first, after all the constant drama. Meanwhile, the newspaper published an article covering the entire situation. Apparently, Farm Store versus HOA Brenda made excellent local headlines. Customers flooded the property after reading the story online. Business became busier than ever before. People drove from neighboring towns just to support the store. Families lined up for pies every weekend. Children played near the displays while couples walked to the flower garden beside the market. The farm transformed into a small community gathering place. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Karen Conflict for more. See you next time.